Hello everyone, Tina here for Pretty Pink Posh. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm so glad you're joining me. Today I'm super excited to share a project with you. We're using a brand new die set and a stamp and coordinating die set from Pretty Pink Posh. This is part of the latest release. And this one in particular, I love A2 size card bases, and this creates a super fun card that it creates layers that you can put into an A2 envelope. It's super easy to put together, and it's great for scene building, and it gives it some extra dimension without all the bulk. This is the Scallop box card. We're going to use this along with the Easter sentiments. I love the little elements that are included with the sentiment stamp. There's bunnies and Easter eggs, little lambs, daffodils, tulips, and they're all on a smaller scale. There is a coordinating die set. All the sentiments will fit inside this lovely label. Although we're not using the label today, I love the stitch detail in here. I think it's super fun. These are new over at the shop. I hope you get a chance to check out the brand new release. Now, I mentioned that these are on the smaller scale side, so we're going to bring an old stamp in and mix and match with the new stamp. And I thought the Pretty Pink Posh Build a Cupcake would go perfect with this set, because I can use these little elements as cupcake toppers. So we're going to make a super sweet card today that's very unique, and I think the recipient will have it sitting on their desk or anywhere in their home, and I think the recipient will love it. Let's jump in and get started. So I'm excited. We're going to first create the elements for our card, and then we'll create the card base. Okay, first we're going to take out our stamp set. We're going to start with our Easter sentiments. I'm going to bring in my stamping positioner, and we're going to stamp. I thought this little bunny is so cute, but we're going to color it chocolate. We'll make a chocolate bunny with that little guy. And we're going to stamp both of the eggs here. There's a little carrot that's like just the perfect size. There's also a little flower. I love the tulip and the daffodil. We'll stamp these also. And there's one more Easter egg we're going to color in too. I'm going to go ahead and pick these up with my stamping positioner. We're going to use Memento Tuxedo black ink to color in our images. And I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to use Cupcake markers to color in my images today. And the coloring doesn't take too long because the images are so small that I can just basically use one color. But I'm going to play a little music while I do color, and when I'm done coloring, I will get you back. Okay, coloring is all done. I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating dies, and I will die cut these out, and I'll be right back. I went ahead and die cut out all my images, and then I went ahead and colored in my cupcakes for today's project also to save a little bit of time. And I'm just adding a little bit of detail with my Copic markers. I heat embossed them with white embossing powder on colored cardstock. So this one, of course, is the pink, and then I did this one with yellow. So I just love the way this looks, and I love how soft the colors were. So all my images are done. Now we get to decorate our cupcakes. To do that, I'm going to, I think the bunny is going to look really cute on the pink cupcake. Or should we put it on this cupcake? I think we'll put the bunny on this cupcake. Normally I like dimension, but today's card is going to be dimensional. So I'm going to leave these layers pretty flat. Isn't that so cute? We have a little chocolate bunny on this cupcake. I'm going to put this off to the side. And for this cupcake, I think we're going to make this a carrot cake. So we'll add some carrots here. I know I stamped and colored in one, and I did another carrot off camera when I was doing the cupcakes. I think 2 is like the perfect number for this cupcake. So this one is done. And then for our pink cupcake, we're going to add our eggs. So our cupcakes are good to go, and then our flowers will keep separate. I'm going to put these off to the side, and now we get to work on our card base. I mentioned that it's very easy to put together. To create our card, it's very easy to do. But the hardest part is basically doing some ink blending. If you don't want to ink blend, you can always use colored cardstock. But it has one base, which looks like this. And these here have perforated dash lines, so it makes it easy to fold. And then you have this piece. This is how we're going to create the scene. And then these are decorative layers for the outside or the inside of the card. We're going to bring in some white cardstock. I'm going to die cut out this piece twice. And then I'm going to die cut this piece out 3 times. For the decorative layers, we're just going to die cut out each one of these. Probably have to bring in another piece of cardstock. But we're going to die cut out each one of these just once. So 2 of these, 3 of these, and each one of the scalloped edges 1 time. I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. The panels that have the stitch detail, I'm putting off to the side, and I do want to mention that I did die cut out some foam to go behind this one. So I just used the die. Rather than using foam tape, I thought we would use some foam, a full piece of foam. You don't have to, you can directly adhere this, but I thought we'd add a little dimension with the foam. We're going to do a little bit of ink blending on our background with these panels. So to do that, I'm going to bring in a couple of inks. Today I'm using Picked Raspberry Distress Oxide ink, and then this is Squeezed Lemonade Distress Oxide ink. I'm going to start by just taking my blending tool, and I'm going to go around the edges of each one of my panel with my Picked Raspberry. Now that we have Picked Raspberry, I'm going to bring in my Squeezed Lemonade. We'll start with the big one. And I'm just going to create a circle right in the middle and blend these 2 inks together to create that orangey color. So my decorative panels are all done. I'm going to put away my oxide inks. And then what we're going to do next is stamp our sentiment on this one here. I'm going to stamp it, let's see, I think we're going to stamp Easter Blessings with my VersaFine Onyx black ink. And we'll try and center this as best as I can. Wonderful. I have a piece of foam I mentioned earlier. I'm going to flip over my sentiment and I'm going to add some glue behind here. We're going to tack this down to our foam. Now to create the box, it's very easy. We're going to take both of our panels, kind of fold both of these sides in. You don't have to go all the way in, but you can fold them so they look like this. Okay, I'm going to open this side up. I'm going to add glue. And we're going to tack these together. So this side here is tacked together and this side's open. I'm going to turn it around, and this flap here, you know how we have two together, I'm going to trim away just using my scissors. Like so. So basically we just created an extra back. That's just going to give us extra room in the back to write an extra long sentiment. We're going to turn it around like this. So now we have this side that's glued together, this side that just has that flap. Okay, and then, of course, you can skip this step. From here, if you just want to cut one of these panels out, we're good. Okay, we're going to take these three panels. I'm going to fold one side in and then fold the other side in, right? We're going to do that to all of them. We're just going to reinforce those perforated edges, create little tables with them. Okay, now you see this score line here on the inside. I don't want to hold it up too far because my camera gets blurry, but on this side here, basically we're going to work on this little label here. Let me just try and zoom in here. Okay, I'm going to add glue. You hold your table like this. I'm going to add glue to this side here. If you wanted to use tape, you very well could. I'm going to take this flap and we're going to add it to the very bottom. We're going to add this to the score line just on the outside edge of it and all the way to the bottom edge. You see the score line here. We're not touching it. We're a little bit over this side, and it's all the way to the bottom edge. Okay? Then we can fold this flat. If you want to adjust it, since glue is easier because you can adjust it, you want to make sure this lines up evenly here. You with me? We're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to add glue right here. You don't need too much. We're going to hold it like this. We're going to tack this down just above this score line. Let me show you. Like so. So we're doing the same thing. Tack this down, fold it over. You see how it wants to go up? You can adjust it with the glue. Pull this down a little bit so it's straight. After we have this done, we have two on here so far. Let me show you. You see how we have two? I'm going to go ahead and do one more. We have one more here. I'm going to do one more panel with this. I'll be right back. I went ahead and die cut out one more. You don't have to do 4 layers. You can do 3 or 2 layers. But I think 4 is going to work out perfect. So I'm going to fold these ends in, again, like a little table. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a little glue on the edge here. And then I'm going to flip it around here like this. I'm going to go ahead and line this up just in front of this fold line that we just created, hold it down, fold it over, and if you need to adjust it so it hits the bottom, you can. You see what we're doing so far? So there's 3 of these. We're going to do one more this way. So we're going to have one more. We're going to take our last one, add a little glue here. This one we're going to go all the way to the edge over here. And so we're going to put it on the edge here and go over here. You see, we're going all the way to the edge. And then I'm going to fold it over and adjust it so all of these bottom, all the bottom of the papers all line up with the bottom of my, so this is nice and smooth. So now we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so far our panel is super flat. But if you open it, it looks like this. So this is what I mean when you don't have to do 4. You could do 2 or 3. You can do as many as you want. But 4 is nice because you can evenly space them. Now, after we have this done, to make the other side, we're going to take our glue. You see all the perforated edges? I'm going to take my glue, and I'm just going to add glue here, and here, and here. Okay, we're going to take our flap and we're going to fold it over just like this. We're holding it flat. We're just going to hold it over flat. I'm going to hold it down for just a few seconds for it to grab. Okay, and then you know what you get to do? You get to push this side over and you have a fun box. A little card that has little levels that you can create a dimensional card, and it will hold flat either way. You can do a little shimmy with it. And we created that extra flap in the back to write a message. You see how that goes? So this could sit on the recipient's desk like this. And again, you don't have to add that back piece. I added it just because I can have extra room to write a message. Okay, now we get to decorate it. It's super fun. We have this panel that we created. I'm going to turn this around, add glue to it. This panel, we're going to slide this in and add this over here. Now this panel, you can also create one for this side too, to decorate the back side if you prefer. Today we're just going to do this side. We have the sides. We can fold it flat. This side, of course, goes here. We're going to flip this over, add a little glue, and then we can tack this down. I'm going to do the shimmy, and then we'll flip this side over. We can add some glue. These are the kind of cards that are really fun to play with acetate. So you could put acetate in each one of the layers and have them floating, maybe some butterflies. I think that would be really cute. You could put some grass in there. Today we're just going to add cupcakes. Now I'm going to take my Easter blessings. Since we put foam behind here, we have a little bit of dimension. I'm going to add this to the, we're going to add this to the very front. Hold it down, let that glue grab. And so now this one's adhered and we have a little bit of dimension to that. Now we get to add our cupcakes and our flowers. The bunny's the tallest, so I'm going to put that in the back. Now to do this, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue at the very bottom. I'm going to add this to the very bottom. We're going to put this bunny towards the middle. You could of course do this before you adhere the layers. So that bunny's adhered. You can see it from the side. kind of wants to go a little forward. So bunny's there. Now we're going to add our Easter eggs. And I think this daffodil, no, let's see. We're going to add a little glue over here at the very first layer, and I think we'll put the daffodil over here. I think that's a good spot. I'm going to just tap it to make sure it's secured. So sky is the limit. I'm using cupcakes today, but the fun part is you can use anything. You can create it with any kind of critters. You could just use the elements from the stamp set, the Easter sentiments, or you can create little hills on here, put some grass. Super fun. The nice thing about this is it folds flat. Let me show you. It's flat. This is probably flatter than most of my cards. I add a lot of dimension to my cards, so I know this is going to fit in an A2 envelope. And it's going to give you lots of room, and there is a no bulk whatsoever. So I don't think this will cost extra postage. Don't quote me on that, but I just think that is the cute little desktopper. And of course you guys write your message in the back. We are going to finish off our card. There's a little flower that needs help in the center. I'm going to bring in some Pretty Pink Posh. These are pink blush jewels. And I think there's an itty bitty one here. I think that's just the perfect amount. Now I'm going to add, well, so we added some jewels, but I think we need a little bit more sparkle. So I'm going to bring in some of my diamond stickles. And I'm going to add a little sparkle to the tulip here. And also to the Easter eggs. And that will finish off my card today. I think this is a super fun card. A super sweet card. And I just love the way that looks. I was afraid when I smush it. And of course it lays flat too. Pretty easy to put together, right? I thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a lovely day, and we will be back real soon with another card project. Bye-bye.